Welcome, 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 everybody. Just making sure my microphone is working. I apologize if that was a loud tap with my fingers. What I'm going to do today is daily predictions for tomorrow, which for me starts in an hour and 5 minutes. So we're going to do daily predictions for tomorrow for every sign. So that's going to be for October the 21st. We'll start with Aries and work our way around through the zodiac that way. So let's see. We're going to put down 2 cards for something for you to be aware of. And then we'll put 2 more cards for your best manifestation advice for the day, Aries. If anybody wants to timestamp these, please feel free. Let's see. What do we have coming up for you, Aries? First of all, we have the 2 of Stones showing up in reverse. The 2 of Stones talks about this idea of letting go of something that we're juggling. Maybe there's too much on our plate. We can be clearing something off of our plate, or we could be letting something actually just kind of fall through the cracks because we just can't cover everything. And then what we have covering that is the Queen of Spirals. This is telling me that Aries, what you're really focusing on is doing those things that nurture other people, that require your activity, your energy, your creativity, your optimism to be able to do. And so it looks to me like you are really dropping off of your plate anything that is not focused on something that's going to be nurturing to somebody else through your normal, regular mojo, really. The independent, creative mojo. Now, best advice for what you're trying to manifest tomorrow, Aries. What we have coming up, first of all, is the moon. The moon talks about keeping things secret, not sharing everything that we know. Covered by the 2 of Spirals. 2 of Spirals really just talks about some kind of choice that we have. And so when we've got the moon covered by the 2 of Spirals, this says that whatever the choices that we have coming up tomorrow, we don't necessarily want to go blaring that from the rooftops. We want to go ahead and make that choice and kind of keep everything under wraps until a more appropriate time to let everybody in on it. Okay, so that's what I've got for Aries. Next, we're going to look at Taurus for tomorrow. Hello there, Gracie. You just woke up from a nap? Are you up for a couple of hours now? I'm thinking, what time is it there? 10, it's almost 11. So there, it's almost 1. Do you just nap around the clock? Remind me what sign you are. Aren't you another Scorpio? Next up, we're looking at Taurus. About to be midnight. Oh, so you're in Central. I always forget you're in Central. Okay. Okay, so Taurus. Looking at something coming up for you for tomorrow to be aware of. And best manifestation advice for you for tomorrow, Taurus. Excuse me. Okay, so Taurus, what you're starting off with is the Merlin card, which talks about new beginnings. It's that leap of faith card. And it is covered by, oh goodness, it's covered by the 5 of Swords. All right, so this is really interesting because Taurus, this says there's some kind of argument or debate that happens that sends you off on a whole new direction. So something that comes up as a result of this argument or debate has you really thinking and considering, what do I really want? And then we see with the Merlin actually acting on what you really want. So a whole new beginning coming out of some kind of argument or debate or uncomfortableness. Now, best thing to manifest, best advice to manifest tomorrow for Taurus people, we have justice. Okay. Now, justice is making a decision and making it in as fair a way as possible. And this justice is making a decision about a healing or a healer. Sometimes this is a little one, maybe even a little water sign, but some kind of fair decision about a young water sign for some of us, or for others, this is some kind of fair decision about somebody who is doing some healing. We may need to cut them a little slack so that they can finish healing, whether they're healing their heart or healing a broken arm or whatever it might be. We may need a little slack. They need a fair decision that takes into consideration that they're a work in progress right now. Excuse me, I'm not sure where this cough came from. I wasn't doing this till I logged on live. Thank you, Ms. Gracie. All right, so that's Taurus. Next up, we're going to look at Gemini. So Gemini's first thing we're going to look at is a theme for tomorrow or something coming up for tomorrow. And then we'll look at your best manifestation advice for tomorrow. So what should you know about tomorrow? It looks like you're pouring out some energy and effort so that you can get some more stability in your lives, Geminis. You show up with the Four of Pentacles coming up in reverse. This is pouring out energy, effort, or money. Why? Because we have this Ten of Pentacles. We're doing it so that we can feel more secure or more stable in our situation. Now, best advice for manifesting, Gemini. We have the Moon card in reverse. Interesting. We just had this right side up for Aries, I think. And we also have the Five of Spirals in reverse when we're looking at manifesting. So this is very interesting for me. The Moon card in reverse basically says that this is not really something we're doing towards manifesting. This talks about that there's information floating to the surface about whatever this is that we want to manifest. And as this information floats to the surface, we want to really focus on it. We don't want to sweep that under the rug like a lot of people do the red flags. We don't want to do that. We want to actually focus on the information as it comes up from the surface and look at, does that change anything for me? Or do I still feel the same about this situation? It's important to pay attention to it tomorrow. Alicia, hello, welcome. What sign are you, Alicia? All right, next up, we are looking at Cancer. And so for Cancer, first we're going to look at a theme, something that you need to know about for tomorrow. And then we will look at your best manifestation advice for tomorrow. Your Gemini, oh, well, we just finished you up. I don't know how much of that you heard, but that was yours. I don't know if you can scroll back while I'm live. I think you can on YouTube, right? You can go back and listen. All right, so Cancer, let's see what you need to know about for tomorrow. And let's take a peek at your best manifestation advice for tomorrow. All right, so Cancers. Look at this. We start off with the Lovers card, and the Lovers card just tells me, by the way, thank you for the thumbs ups. The Lovers card just tells me that you guys are working together with somebody that you're partnered up with, whether this is a romantic partner, business partner, good friend, whatever, working with somebody that you're partnered up with. And we have the Ace of Scrolls in reverse. Now, it looks to me like you and your partner are working on getting out of some kind of contract or agreement. Maybe you really hate the washer and dryer set that you brought home and you're working on getting out of having to keep that. Maybe this is something more to do with business, but there's something that you guys are working together to get out of, some kind of contract or agreement, okay? You're in agreement on getting out of the agreement. All right, so next up, Cancers, your manifestation advice. Boy, the Moon. I can't believe this. The Moon is so popular in manifestation advice. Look at this. Moon card. Keeps your secrets. Keep your secrets close to your chest. Ten of Stones in reverse. You want to keep your secrets close to your chest about the fact that you are looking to upgrade your material assets in the world, your sense of security in the world. You want to kind of keep that close to your chest that you're looking to upgrade that. It's not time to share that with everybody right now. There will be a time when it's appropriate. That time is not today. Okay, so that's for Cancer. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Leo. Let's see what shows up. First, we're going to look at what you need to know about tomorrow. Then we'll look at best manifestation advice for tomorrow for those Leos who stumble across this video. The video killed the radio. I feel like I'm messing those words up. Now I want to go look up that song. That came out on MTV when MTV was still new back in the 80s. And I remember when it was new. All right, Leos. What do you have coming up? You have the Eight of Stones, followed by, or I should say covered by, the Ace of Mirrors coming up in reverse. So this is interesting, Leo, because you've got something coming up tomorrow that has to do with some kind of work that you're doing. Maybe for a boss, maybe for your own company, maybe around the house, maybe volunteer work, but something having to do with work where there was something that you were not aware of before that is now coming out. There's something about this where you're seeing the real deal, where you might not have known the real deal before, and you probably didn't even know you didn't know the real deal before. Thank you, Gracie. All right, so best manifestation advice for your Leos. We start off with the Knight of Spirals. Well, that's you guys in your mojo, doing your thing, following up on whatever it is that you are feeling enthusiastic and inspired about. With the Ten of Stones, oh my goodness, this card keeps coming up in the second spread over and over. So you are taking action, inspired action that you have a lot of enthusiasm for, to bring in more stability and security into your life. Does that tie in with your work situation? It may. Maybe that when you find out this new information about work, maybe you're really loving it and you're like, ooh, I can get behind that. Bam, bam, here we go. Or it could be you're finding out this new information about your work situation and you're like, well, off I go on down the road looking for a new job. Could go either way. Something is coming out about work. You're definitely getting behind something you're feeling enthusiastic about because you are looking to meet some kind of financial or material goal. All right. So that's what we have so far. That's what we have for Leos. Next up is Virgo. So Virgos, we're going to take 2 cards to look at what's coming up during the day. After that, we're going to follow that up with 2 cards for your best manifestation advice for the day. Virgos. What do we have for you? All right, Virgos. Oh, you have some interesting stuff coming up. You have the Two of Mirrors in reverse. Once again, very popular card tonight. We have the Moon card in reverse this time. How funny. Between the Moon and the Ten of Pentacles, we've got one or the other card in every spreads, or in everybody's spreads so far. Some of them have both. Okay, so Virgo, what we're seeing is something that you used to be really into and delighted by and enthused by, fascinated by, wanted to spend more time just all hunkered up in it or getting to know it or whatever. Now you just don't really know if you really care anymore. It's not as exciting as it used to be. You could kind of take it or leave it. You might rather leave it. Well, why? Why is because the Moon card comes up covering this in reverse, which basically says there's something about this thing that you once were into that now you're finding out about, and you're just like, ugh, nay. Totally changes your perspective. All right, so let's look at your best manifestation advice for tomorrow, Virgos. We have the Companion, or the King of Spirals. So this talks about, somebody that you're, I'm not even going to say that. This talks about, a way of you behaving, how you're carrying yourself. As the King of Spirals, you may be doing things a little bit differently than the average Joe, but you're pretty confident in what you're doing and you're very optimistic and outgoing. You're somebody who can have people laugh around you, and you're operating in that kind of mojo. And then with this Nine of Spirals coming up in reverse, this is very interesting because I think you've got somebody around you who is kind of shut down and kind of quiet. And so the advice here to manifest what you want to manifest is just be your normal self. Be your outgoing, social, normal self. If this person isn't talking, that's okay. You can still, don't feel like you have to be quiet just because they're being quiet. Be your normal self. It may be exactly what they need for you to break through the quiet for them. All right, so that's interesting. That's for Virgo. Next, we're going to look at Libra. All right, so Libras, the first thing we're going to look at, the first 2 cards are going to talk about what you need to know about your day tomorrow. And then the next 2 cards are going to be your best manifestation advice for tomorrow. So let's see what we have. Tomorrow being October the 21st. Libra. Aww. Okay, so Libras, you guys have the Six of Scrolls in reverse. Six of Scrolls in reverse right now is talking to me about having a hard time letting go of something, having a hard time saying goodbye to something. Well, what is that something? With the Six of Mirrors coming up in reverse, that's this idea that you're having a hard time letting go of some old memories. Maybe you can't get them out of your head, or maybe you're having a hard time letting go of an old relationship or an old situation. Maybe you're just remembering, how good that used to be. And having a hard time letting go of those ideas about it. Now, best manifestation advice for you tomorrow, Libras, is interesting. This is the Knight of Cups in reverse, and it's covered by the Queen of Scrolls in reverse. This is really interesting. That Knight of Mirrors in reverse. So, a Knight of Mirrors, when he's right side up, he's very naive. He's very optimistic. When he's in reverse, he's a little pessimistic. He's a little down on relationships, maybe romantic relationships in particular, but probably relationships, maybe just people. But he's a little pessimistic. He's not seeing the life through rose-colored glasses at all. And why? Well, why is because they're being crossed over by a Queen of Scrolls. This one says that, you want to be really much more realistic, I guess, about how you look at life, because you've got somebody who's coming in here, and people especially, you've got somebody coming in here who's wanting to be real bossy and kind of push you around. So there's basically a saying that for best manifestation purposes, you don't want to make excuses for this person. You want to look at them for how they really are and respond appropriately. No naive, pie in the sky type of outlook here. Take what's coming at you for what it really is and handle it appropriately. All right, so that's what I've got for Libras. I don't normally know you guys to be naive like that, so that's kind of an interesting reading. There must be a special situation going on there. Let's see, next up we're looking at Scorpio. So prediction for Scorpio for tomorrow will be the first two cards, and then the next two cards will be best advice for manifesting what we want to manifest. So let's see what we get, fellow Scorpios. Boop-a-da-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay. All right, we start off with the Page of Stones. Now, stones can be about money, pentacles type stuff, or it can also be about energy, health type stuff as well. And it's covered by the Lover's card in reverse. Now, this is interesting because for me, this can be read a few different ways. First of all, this can be saying that there's not the type of message we would like to hear about money because we haven't been working with our normal clients, or we haven't been going to work. That Lover's card in reverse, we haven't been actually working in the partnership that we have, or maybe we don't even have a partnership to work in to bring in the money. So we've got some kind of bad news about money because we're not participating in a partnership. Or we could have bad news about health because we have not been paying attention to the doctor or the energy healer or whoever our authority is. We're not paying attention to them and they're the experts and we're paying them to be the experts. Then all of a sudden we might find out that we have less than incredible information about health. So not so good information about health or about money, one or the other, probably because we're not really targeted on partnering up with somebody to have that good information come in to create those opportunities that we want. All right, best manifestation advice for Scorpio. Scorpio, I think our best manifestation advice for tomorrow is be a good friend. We've got us coming up here in our normal everyday mojo, nurturing, intuitive, uplifting, covered by the Three of Mirrors. This is friendship. So this says, just be a good friend. This is not necessarily a partnership. It's probably not even tied to that partnership, but this is manifesting. It's just, be ourselves in a friendship. Just be ourselves. Be a good friend. All right, next up, we're going to look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius. If you're getting benefit out of this video, please put a thumbs up on it. Don't forget to share it out to the world, to others who may benefit from it as well. And of course, I do offer private readings. You can find out all about that in my website listed in the description box below. Sagittarius. And if anybody feels like putting timestamps on this, please know that good is appreciated. Excuse me, because I'm probably going to lay down right after I'm done here. Okay, Sagittarius. Okay. So you have the Two of Scrolls, which talks about some kind of indecision about something that's on your mind. And this is about your theme for tomorrow, or what you need to know tomorrow. And then you have the King of Spirals in reverse, which is you. This tells me that whatever this indecision is that's coming up, it kind of is keeping you from your normal, uplifting, happy personality. Okay? And then what we look at for your best manifestation advice, very interesting. Oh, we see the Nine of Mirrors showing up in reverse. So interesting. Okay, and it's covered by the Chariot in reverse. This says, I'm staying right where I am. I'm not moving. And with that Nine of Mirrors in reverse, you could be homesick, honestly. You could be a little bit homesick. And so, when we have something like this show up, the manifestation advice is to allow yourself to sit with that feeling so that you can let that feeling roll through you and you can move on to the next thing after you get past that. But if you suppress your feelings, if you don't let those feelings out, guess what happens? They become this tight ball that soon is the weight of, 15 cannonballs holding us down, and then we can't move forward. So no suppressing of feelings. We do see you feeling a little bit homesick. I don't think it's really an option for you to go back home right now. You may be considering whether you want to go back home right now. That may be what your indecision is. I don't think it's really an option, though. Not one that you really want to consider seriously, in spite of being homesick. Okay, so that's for Sagittarius. Next, we're going to look at Capricorn. First two cards are going to be something about the day tomorrow. And then the next two cards are going to be your best manifestation advice. Boo, ba, do, do, boo, boo. This is who? This is Capricorn. All right, so Capricorns. Excuse me. What you guys have showing up is the Justice card in reverse. This talks about really trying to make a decision about somebody in your sphere of influence and trying to figure out, there was something that happened that went down that was not cool. All right. And you're basically trying to figure out if they intended for it to be not cool, or if things just got out of hand and they went in a direction they weren't expecting. And so you're trying to really figure out, do I bring the hammer down, or do I help this person understand how to do better next time? Okay. Now, what we have covering that is the Green Man showing up in reverse, which is really interesting because the Green Man in reverse is going to be somebody who's a little harder to bring the hammer down on in most cases. But the Green Man in reverse is somebody who does have some authority in your life, but they may not be acting in good faith. So they could be using that authority a little bit corruptly. So no wonder you're trying to figure out, hey, what's the real deal with how they're behaving here, because usually they are pretty sly and they can do emotional manipulation. I almost said manipulation, emotional manipulation pretty well. So I can see why you're having a little bit of trouble trying to figure out which way to go when you're trying to figure out the real deal with this person and their motives at this time. Now, best manifestation advice that we have showing up for you guys for the day, we have the Knight of Spirals starting off, Capricorn, followed by the King of Mirrors. Okay, so the Knight of Spirals just says that I think you're going to be noticing earlier in the day that your energy is being kind of scattered, that you're going in a whole bunch of different directions. With that King of Mirrors coming up, this just says try to remember to focus on what you love. Try to remember to put your priority there so that you can have the most results in a place that is important to you. Okay, so that's for Capricorn. Next up, we're going to look at Aquarius. I think my water will last. Thank you, Gracie. That's very sweet of you. All right, Aquarius, first two cards are going to be the theme tomorrow. And then after that, we're going to look at two cards that are your best manifestation advice for October the 21st. Aquarius. All right, so Aquarius, what you guys have showing up here is the Seven of Stones. This talks about payday, payday coming in. Two of Stones covering that. So Aquarius, you may actually have two different paydays coming in today, maybe from two different places. Maybe we're expecting one payday from one paycheck from some place and they send you two paychecks or two deposits. I don't know. Something odd happening here, but a couple of paydays coming in on the same day, Aquarius. Excuse me. Now, best manifestation advice for the day. We have our Death card or our Transformation card, covered by our Five of Stones card. So this just means that we have some kind of disappointment, but we're not going to let it sit as a disappointment. We are going to inspire that. We're going to use that as inspiration to make some changes in our lives that work out for the better. It looks to me like whatever is this disappointment that happens tomorrow really helps us to fine-tune what we want to create and to begin working in that direction. All right, so that's Aquarius. Next up, we're looking at Pisces. You're okay, Gracie. It's all good. I think people will figure out from seeing me hold up cards, they can figure out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, Pisces, first two cards are going to be what you need to know about tomorrow. Next two cards are going to be your best manifestation advice for tomorrow. What do you want to manifest tomorrow, Pisces? All right, let's take a peek. Okay, Pisces. You've got strong daily cards showing up for what's coming in. It's interesting, though. First of all, let's start with this. You've got the Ravens, which is like a magician. Basically says you're manifesting those things that you want to manifest. Now, you have that covered by LP or like the star. This is you're manifesting things that you want to manifest, but you're manifesting them in all kinds of different directions. You're having a hard time knowing where you want to focus or setting your focus. And because you're having a hard time setting your focus, you're manifesting here, there, and everywhere, which is not bad. That's actually fun, but it may not get us any forward progress anywhere. Will we manifest everywhere? Boy, I can tell I'm getting tired. All right, now I'm getting all goofy. Best manifestation advice for Pisces. Excuse me. Two of Scrolls coming up in reverse. This talks about there's some kind of indecision. You want to kind of take that time with that indecision. Allow yourself to sit with that indecision until you know what you want to do with it. And then we have that followed by the Merlin in reverse. This really is a longhand way of saying that your best advice for manifesting tomorrow is take a look at your leap of faith that you've begun in the past. Take a leap of that leap of faith and decide if you want to continue forward with it or if it has served its purpose. In the end, you're going to be deciding that it still has juice in it and you want to move forward with it. But if you really, evaluate it before you get there, then you see where some things could be adjusted so that this can be improved as you move forward with this leap of faith on into the future. All right, so that's what we have for Pisces. I'm punch strong. I did not sleep very well last night. I was having foot cramps and leg cramps. So I'm surprised I'm still functioning at all right now. Let's see. Anybody in the room that wants a reading, since we've gone through all the signs? Looks like there's two people in the room. Whoever puts the number I'm writing down and circling first will be the next person I read for. Gracie got it right off the bat. You may be the last person I read for anyway, because I'm almost out of water. Gracie. Do you want a message from Spirit or do you have a question for me today, honey? All right, here we go. Message from Spirit for Gracie. Alicia, I think you've got some delay on the line, honey bunny. Sorry. We got 2 3s though. You guys are both tapping in. Well, let's see if you get a piggyback message. Okie dokie. And don't forget, share this video. People might benefit from it tomorrow. Gracie. Okay. What do we have coming up here? Here's your situation, my dear. King of Mirrors showing up in reverse. This is somebody in your sphere of, oh no, this is you, Gracie, something you're not happy about, and you're saying it very calmly. You've been around me long enough to know that it's the people who are angry and who are calm that scare me. I think you're going to be saying it calmly enough to be scary. And that's covered by the 9 of Stones in reverse. The 9 of Stones in reverse just basically says, you know what, you could appreciate some help or you could appreciate some company. And I think you're letting somebody know, hey, you're kind of falling down on the job. You told me this, that, or the other, and you're not around to do it. Or you're not around to be with me, or whatever it is. Okay, so I think there's a certain amount of frustration there. I don't think you're blowing up about it, but I do think you're talking about it. Now, boop-a-da-doo-doo. What do we have here? Insight or heads up, we have the 10 of Spirals. This talks about responsibilities. We have the Storyteller. This says you're handling all the responsibilities all on your own. And the 6 of Mirrors says you remember how to do it. You just don't want to do it. You don't like doing it. This is like having that sudden realization that you have to replace the toilet in your house. And you realize, I know how to do this. I just don't want to do this. I don't know that that's your exact thing, but you get the idea. Be nice if some help was around. All right, so I am just about out of water. It's time for me to get out of here because my throat is going to kick my booty if I don't take better care of it. Thank you very much for keeping me company, ladies. I appreciate it so much. You guys know how to get a hold of me if you need a reading. Everybody have a fantastic day. And good morning to you, Alicia. Peace out.